Obviously, I'm disappointed. You know, I really believe in my case, and I thought my lawyer did a great job. But because I'm a tenured teacher, I'm afforded another step in this appeal, and that is something that they'll have to take under advisement, and I believe we have 20 or 30 days to decide.
So will you be taking that next step, or you?
I don't know. It's up to the brilliant legal minds at the TEA. That, you know, I'm just a social studies teacher and a baseball coach, so I can't really comment on that.
Gotcha. And what was your sort of reaction to the support you saw when you walked in?
It's overwhelming. You know, one of the things that's helped me through this entire difficult time is having a 16-year career in Sullivan County schools and having all those former students and having all those great relationships with those students. And, you know, there were a lot of them here tonight, some of them that I had my second year in school, you know, and so, or my second year teaching. And it was so uplifting, and to know that they come here and, you know, validate my career for me.
And, if you could do this all again, would you still play the video and everything?
Would I still play the video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Kyla's voice still needs to be heard. I would have practiced more, and I would have done a better job on the editing, but you know, I tried. This is a contemporary issues class where something is brought in one day, and then you've got to be ready to pivot and talk about it the next day. It's a very, very dynamic class to teach. So.
And what is your ultimate hope now? Are you hoping to be back in the classroom? Do you have any other plans?
No, I mean, my plan is to just go back to teaching somewhere, hopefully here. You know, I plan to be here one day, teaching again in Sullivan County schools.
Gotcha. And, were you surprised by, the vote tonight?
Surprised, yeah. But, anytime you're in a situation like this, you have to expect things to not go your way. And so that is something that I did consider, because, they can vote up or down. And that is something that did creep into my mind earlier today, and I had a little bit of a breakdown, but no, it's still very surprising and still very shocking that I'm here doing this and here in this situation.
So I'm sure you know, an aspect of these charges has been unprofessional conduct. Would you ever consider yourself an unprofessional teacher?
No, not at all.
How would you describe your teaching style?
My teaching style is, I ask students difficult questions, and we analyze and evaluate and think critically about those. And I ask the students, what do you think about this perspective or this idea? And I challenge them to understand that perspective and that idea. They don't have to agree with it. That's not how I grade. I've never graded my students on their agreement with an idea that we discuss in class. The only thing I ask them to do is understand it and learn to listen to other people. I'm so proud of my students. Whenever they were here in the trial, they listened to every word the lawyer said, and then they answered the questions very articulately. And that was such a beautiful thing to watch for a teacher, because they knew, hey, I've got to listen with intention here, and then I have to answer. And so that was really special to watch.
Of course. And so you mentioned Kyla and the video as being important. Why did you choose this in the first place as part of your curriculum?
Well, this is I don't, can you rephrase the question? What do you?
Why did you originally choose to show
her
the
poem?
video? The poem, yes.
Well, it's like I've said from the very beginning, it's a very, very powerful piece of art. And it's a perspective from, someone my students don't encounter on a daily basis. Her perspective is, she is very, guess, she is very articulate in what she says. She's very vulnerable in what she says. She's very personal, you know. She is trying to teach something about her life and something that is important to her. And I think, you know, the best we can do is just listen to it and understand her perspective. And, you know, we'd be better off if we could all do that a little more.
Of course. And so something that's come up a lot is, you know, showing varying opinions, liberal versus conservative. And do you think that is, you know, the main issue here is not showing additional viewership or additional opinions? Like, what do you think the issue here is?
Well, I mean, I've maintained from the very beginning that I do show varying perspectives, you know. This is a matter almost of like teaching style. Am I almost required to teach the same class the same way every day? You know, sometimes in my class we throw out a claim. And by the way, I never use the words liberal or conservative. That is coming from the school board's lawyer. They have interjected those terms into this case. Sometimes we throw out a claim and I ask the students to validate or invalidate that claim. That is an academic exercise that is used in schools all over the country.
Of course. And, you know, do you have any message for your students?
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a privilege to be at Central at the same time you were. And these past 7 months, they've kept me uplifted and supported, and it's been nice to hear from them, and they have reminded me of certain instances and given me a lot to reflect on. And you know, the reason why I became a teacher was for them.
And you know, obviously this didn't have the conclusion that you were hoping for, but was it still all worth it going through this appeal process?
Yes.
Why?
Well, you know, I talk to my students about, you know, if you believe in something, stand up for yourself. And I believe in my case. And, you know, I was, I guess, putting my teaching into practice. So.
Gotcha. And would you do anything differently?
Yeah, I mean, I would practice a little bit more on the muting, but other than that, no. I still stand by the way that I taught the class, and it's a teaching method that I've used for the last 10 years, and it's never been a problem until now.
Of course. And you know, there was a little bit of discussion of whether or not the opinions of the students, you know, about your teaching is important. Do you think that should be taken into consideration when deciding whether or not your like termination should be upheld, like the opinions of the students?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
I mean, they're the ones that are there learning from me. And so, and student after student testified that my classroom is an open classroom where they feel free to discuss and bring in their own ideas and have never been shut down.
Of course. Anything else you would like, you know, the residents of Sullivan County to know, or any message you have for the school board members?
Just to the people of Sullivan County, you know, look, there are good people here, and you know, I'm a part of your community, and I love being here. You know, I'm a Bloomingdale and Orbank boy, so you know, it's been nice to hear from all of them, because everybody that I've seen out, you know, rolling around Kingsport, rolling around Bloomingdale and Orbank have all been supportive, and thank you for that.
Of course. And is there anything that you wish I had asked you about?
Well, I wish you would have said, what was it like to get your job back? You know, I wish that would have happened, but no, I think, I'm not an interview, like I can't
No,
interview.
I know.
Yeah, like, yeah, so if this were a class and I could, you know, but no, And I think that's good.
I have
Perfect.
one last question, if
Yeah.
you don't mind. Something that has sort of come into, I think, all of our inboxes recently has just been, can you ask him about the policy setting? You're not only a public school teacher, but a union member.
Mhm.
So who sets the curriculum or lesson plans? And is there like an approval process that somebody, you know, that you are supposed to sort of set up a rough draft
Right.
or an outline? How does that process work?
Well, this is a class called Contemporary Issues, and there are standards and practices, which I have followed for 10 years. It is up to me to create the curriculum. And there has never been a procedure set in place for me to get topics or materials approved.
So you're saying that, would you have wanted to, I guess, have like a department head or someone look over your material and sort of give you the A-OK or the, hey, maybe you shouldn't, you know, or maybe you should definitely mute those words or something like that to, now that we've gone through this process, do you believe that it should have been addressed beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, those are all administrative questions that I'm just a school teacher, you know, and I operate within the system that's there. And so that would be more of a question for administration, I guess, so.
Questions? Perfect. Thank you.
Guys will do a quick eval with Kyla.